Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be showing you new gadget I have. These videos where I get new things, new consoles or gaming system related stuff gets more and more rare, and that is because I have most of the usual stuff and everything else I want to acquire and get my hands on gets more and more expensive. That's not only because the things I want to acquire are less common, but also nothing has changed. Even today, as we speak, the prices of every retro gadget, peripheral or anything else still keep rising and rising. I do not understand where we are heading. Like in 10-20 years nobody will be able to afford any single Famicom cartridge. But enough of that. Let's get back to the pleasantries of acquiring new stuff. And before I start to tell you about what did I get, unboxing and etc, and also showing games, yes, that's the gaming system I'm going to show you. I also want to do a little explanation, a little bit of history lesson, and explain why here in Latvia nobody knows anything about this exotic, exciting and marvelous system. And to help me with that, I have made an Excel. Observe my excellent skills of Excelness. As you can see in this beautiful checkered image, I have made a list of actually involved consoles in this time frame, video game systems, and also I made the columns each marked with a year. So the first one, as you see, is Nintendo Famicom NES, and if anyone will complain that no, NES did not come out in 1983, the years I listed here are the years the original version came out. Sega Master System came out in 1985. The main point of this Excel is to show you that NEC PC Engine or TurboGrafx-16, which is the topic of this video, was released in 1987, and that is 4 years after Famicom and not long after the Sega Master System. The very next year after NEC PC Engine was released came out the Sega Genesis, and then 2 years after came the Nintendo SNES. I'm well aware you all know that Nintendo NES or Famicom and Sega Master System was 8-bit consoles, and also you all know that Mega Drive or Genesis and Nintendo SNES or Super Nintendo Entertainment System were 16-bit consoles. And the most exciting part about this is that NEC PC Engine was not only right in between of these two generations of competitor consoles, but also it's not exactly 8-bit system and it's also not a 16-bit console. While NEC had a 16-bit color decoder, but it had only 8-bit processor. Some might even say that because it was not clear whether it was 8 or 16-bit console, and the weird time frame, as it was released between two console generations, was the reason why PC Engine was not recognized and was not too popular. But this is where I want to explain that in Japan, PC Engine at one time was even sold more than Mega Drive or Super Nintendo. So I hope you did not find this explanation too boring and too long. For those interested in numbers, right now, as it is October of 2020, decent condition PC Engine you can get for around 100-110 euros. But please note, if you live in European Union like me, you will have to pay import tax to get the system here. Since I paid 110 euros for my system, I had to pay 20 euros in import fees. By the way, one more thing about PC Engine or TurboGrafx. Original PC Engine looks like this. Then afterwards they released the CD add-on. Right after this PC Engine they released same console with quite different internals to North America, and it was called TurboGrafx-16. Then for the European market they rebranded it as simply TurboGrafx without the letter 16. Also then came out the different revisions: PC Engine Core Graphics, PC Engine Core Graphics 2, this UFO shaped PC Engine, and some different console versions, even the handhelds and different weird things. Also, super interesting thing, PC Engine was the first video game system releasing CD add-on, and it was quite complicated, this setup whole, and unsurprisingly sometime after they released this whole bunch of peripherals, they released Turbo Duo, which is combination of TurboGrafx and CD add-on in one console. Let's see what I got in my PC Engine box. So, packaging is fine. Wow, beautiful. You see, it's the first time in my life I'm holding TurboGrafx related console remote control or gamepad in my hand. That's why I'm so excited. And a little bit of cleaning will do the job. Otherwise, I'm impressed. It's actually quite heavy. It reminds me a little bit of SNES, Super Nintendo controller weight, I mean. And the cable is super heavy. It's very thick, and also this connector, it's so huge that it makes me think of some components inside of it. Also, I asked the seller not to include the power adapter. I have no use of using their 120 volt adapters, and I have no intention to somehow modify it. Also, I already clarified that adapter from Mega Drive, the first model, works excellent with this console. So yes, they have skipped the adapter. And this is the console itself. It is super tiny. It's so small. It's for sure, it's the smallest console I ever had. I've seen this console in PC Engine version and I held it in my hand already, but never this core graphics version. It's a little bit dirty. As you can see, they have included the Bomberman card. These are called game cards or hue cards. I have bought one European hue card, and the thing is, this console is Japanese, and Japanese games are incompatible with the European or American NTSC versions. The difference is in this pinout. Form factor is totally the same. You can buy an adapter to play European or NTSC games on Japanese systems, but these adapters are quite rare and they are pretty expensive. And also the thing is, I have no intention to play this gaming system as it is. So that is why I do not care about this console missing the cover. Interesting part is this one. Some kind of metal pins that pushes in. For sure it's some grounding contact or something like that. And here is the details of the console. It's a PC Engine core graphics made by NEC. Some kind of gibberish. Here we can see it's 9 volt DC. Outer ring is positive and negative is inside. So this is why the Sega Mega Drive first adapter works. I use my excellent tiny 11-inch GVC CRT PVM. And here we go. Excellent. I see the flickering in camera, but here on screen it looks totally. I'm jaw-dropping, like mind-blowing clear. It looks like best RGB I've ever seen, and this is not an RGB. Also, a very pleasant addition to this is that game is in theory Japanese, but actually everything is written in English. So if you ever need a cartridge or game card for Japanese console, get the Bomberman. The fact I can play this game doesn't change the fact I suck at Bomberman. But while first impression is great, the reason behind this test was to see whether the console works at all. And now let me show you how I plan to set it up and play it on my modern TV, and why this project was so big and huge and exciting for me. Okay, so my video game system works, everything is fine with it, and I'm super happy and excited. This thing here is called Super SD System 3, and in my opinion, and probably most of the marketologists and public relation people will agree, it's one of the most unsuccessful names somebody was able to come up with. SSDS3, also SS3DS. People get confused, that's the lamest name of the device ever. Why? But the biggest issue of this thing, while it's super expensive, let's not beat around the bush. It costs 240 euros. It's been made by company Terronion. Problem is that this company Terronion is located in Andorra. And the interesting part is they are not in European Union, making this super expensive. I had to pay additional 60 euros to import this as an import tax. making whole price for me for this device around 310 euros. But then again, I'm not complaining about the price of the gadget itself, because what it does is mind-blowing. Most probably one would think that this Super SSD3DSS3, whatever the count of SSDs and 3s in there, is just something similar to EverDrive. You know, these cartridges where you write your ROMs in SD card, put in the cartridge and then play all the ROMs you want using your original hardware. No, this is even more than that. It's also an ODE, and ODE stands for Optical Drive Emulation. It also emulates that CD add-on I was talking about previously. So now I actually do not need to buy myself a CD add-on to play CD games. And there are very many beautiful fine games for the TurboGrafx or PC Engine that was released exactly on the CD format. Oh, and super exciting and awesome feature I forgot to mention. It's a EverDrive, it's a CD-ROM, and it's also an RGB mode. Doesn't it make you think maybe 240 euros is not that much for the device of this class? So first let me show you what you get in the box. As it states, place CD-ROM 2 or square, I don't understand, Super CD-ROM, Arcade CD-ROM, and HuCard images from SD card. Also, it is a AV multi-out with RGB composite video and stereo audio, built-in arcade card. Actually, in other words, this is all you ever need for your PC Engine. Quick user guide and instruction manual. So this is how this add-on looks like. Nothing too special. Expansion port, back. It doesn't have its own dedicated power supply required, so it works just out of the system itself. Actually, I did not expect any fancy mumbo jumbo and other nonsense design features from this gadget. It's all about functionality, it's not like I will be looking at it much. And the weird shape is because of this is how you use it. Here's the aforementioned expansion slot, and here's the gadget, and you Sds3Ss3DS3 whatever. And this is how it looks like complete. And probably now you can see why I choose the grey PC Engine Core Graphics version. You also will have to purchase this one. And you might ask, where the hell do I plug the second controller? You have to buy separate multi-tap divider. Now, if I plug in this HuCard or game card, it will avoid all the functionalities of the extension. Just it will run this Bomberman game. And my first impression with this menu is it's quite sharp, it's readable, it's fine. In my opinion, this boldness is totally unnecessary and makes it more difficult to read. And the weird stuff is that these buttons that usually are select and cancel are actually option buttons. And you see the options: boot to last game, enable in-game trigger, have no idea what it is, skip CD-ROM, press run, whatever, per game backup run, okay, enable arcade card, most probably I want that, enable HuCard dumper, I do not want to dump anything, CD block volume, I'm aware of these problems that Sds3Ss whatever was having, and they fixed something with the volume of the CD unit. And select CD-ROM system card. That's actually, you see, when you get this CD add-on, you have to get separate card or this HuCard that inserts into console itself. Hence, this is called CD-ROM system card. Actually, what you do is you make a folder named BIOS or BIOS in your root of your SD card, and then copy all these BIOSes, and then you can choose any of them. But actually, I did not see any problem using this randomly selected TurboGrafx CD, whatever. Also, when you're here in this menu, you see I made a folder called PC Engine CD-ROMs, and when I enter it, it's blank, it's total, there's no games. And why there are no games? Because here in the upper side of the menu you see CD-ROMs, and there's you see the select button is switch. So you switch to CD-ROMs, and here they are. So guys, there you have it. I love the idea, this system not trying to be some kind of 3D breakthrough or something like Sega Saturn and Atari tried to be. Pure, honest 2D, beautifully executed. But after making this part where I show you the games, I think most of you will agree it's more towards the 16-bit technology. All the presentations, the big sprites, the music. And this is one of those rare cases where I did not get the gaming system just for the collection. I am going to actually play it, and I have a suspicion I will play it a lot. By the way, thanks to the guys from Terra Onion. It's an amazing job, amazingly executed. For sure I have minor complaints about the menu, but I probably will get used to it. I didn't have any issues, I didn't have any noise buzzing sound issues as some people tend to report. Also, I did not have any graphical issues. And my final thoughts on it, this is definitely gonna be one of my favorite consoles and the most used one. It's a sweet spot between simple but beautiful. And on that thought, thank you guys for watching and see you next time.